Today I have a sprayed watercolour technique to share with you. Hi, it's Therese from Lostinpaper, and this video is part of a release from Altenew for the new Builder Flower set. It is it's October 2019, and this is the Fuchsia, and it comes with the coordinating dies, and this Builder Flower has both the layering and an outline stamp within the set, so lots of beautiful fuchsia images and some sentiments as well. I'm only really using a couple of the images today, starting with the outline. I've got my obsidian pigment ink and I'm stamping out a spray of flowers just in the top right hand corner of some Bristol Smooth cardstock, which is cut to the same size as the front of my card. I'm doing some stamping, and I did wipe away a little bit of the ink on that stamp, and that's just so that gives me somewhere along that branch to stamp a leaf image, but would have been probably cleaner just to use a piece of cloth or something like that, but it worked well. So I couldn't be bothered doing a lot of masking, and I knew I was going to be colouring with watercolours today, so I wanted it to be quite a loose effect, so I have stamped the flowers kind of away from each other a little bit. So I did have to come in with multi-liner. So this is a waterproof black marker. You could use a Sharpie pen, whatever you've got on hand. And I just extended some of the lines so that they looked like they did belong to the branch. I probably got a little bit loose when I was stamping the leaves. So the only layering stamp I'm using today is a solid image from the 3 flowers and the 2 leaves that I've chosen. And this is a technique that I saw Lydia do in Lydia's Crafty Corner, and I just loved it. And it was a real loose watercolor technique using the watercolor brush markers from Altenew. And so for each time I'm stamping, I'm adding 2 different colors directly to the stamp itself, and then I've got a really fine water mister. This is just one of those little tiny Ranger ones, and I never aim it right, but you know, eventually I'll get there. That's why I have to have my hand up there so I don't spray my card front as well. But I just spritz it really lightly with some water and then stamp it like I would normally stamp it, and then let the watercolor do its thing. So I'm trying not to play with that. I'll just step away and I'll go to another image that's nowhere near touching the one I've just stamped. So I'm doing exactly the same again, and for all the fuchsias today I've used the same colour combos. I've gone with kind of a purple top of the fuchsias. Most fuchsias are in that, get this, fuchsia colour, who would have thought, and nice bright pinks and purples, and there are some kind of white green ones, which is what I was originally. This is nothing like what I originally planned. Well, the layout is, but not the card itself. Because after I saw Lydia's video, I just had to try this technique, and it really is easy and fun, and a great way to use these layering stamps, a great different way to use these layering stamps and the watercolour brush markers. So take a look at these leaves here, because I am using 2 different greens, and when I stamp them out, I thought to myself, like, they're just going to be too dark. But if you have a look at them in a minute or so when they're dry, you'll see they actually dry quite a bit lighter. So as a release with Altenew, this is obviously part of a blog hop and a giveaway, so I'll put the details in the description below, and you'll be able to head to my blog, find out who else is hopping along and what they've created with this stamp set, and also find out how you can have a chance to win, as well as the link to Lydia's video as well. I will also list all the colours that I've used with the watercolour brush markers at my blog, so you'll be able to find them there as well. I was a bit worried about adding too much water here, and because I'm working on the Bristol Smooth, it actually didn't really matter too much. So I figured, what have I got to lose? give it a whirl. And this last one, I didn't have enough colour, so I simply just came in with the actual watercolour brush, and added some colour directly to the paper. And that's also how I added the details to the stems and to the stamens of the flowers. It's a really pretty set, this one. So next I came in with the jet black ink spray, and you can see where I've got a little bit of the front of my card masked. That's where I was going to put my sentiment originally. But that didn't work out. So here's this plan too. I've come in and stamped the word, it's from the Simply the Best. It's the hello. And I really love the sentiments, and I love the fonts on all of the sentiments within this set. And I've just done it on some black cardstock and heat embossed it with some white powder, because I was, see, look what I've done. I just kept smudging this little black ink. I wanted to get this card finished. So I actually created an opportunity here and found out where I was going to put my sentiment by smudging that black ink spray. And it took me a little while to work it out, because it normally dries really quick, this ink spray, but it was because I was using the Bristol Smooth cardstock. So I tested it the next morning. It was totally dry and nothing smudged. I was just, I think I've forgotten I was working on the Bristol Smooth. So that was, if it had been on the Nina, it would have been dry pretty much within a few minutes. So I did have to put my sentiment, I popped it up over where the smudges were. After rubbing some of them out, they actually rubbed out fairly well, and then added some sequins over top. So I hope you've enjoyed this video today. If you like this video, please click on the like button, and if you haven't already, I would love it if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel. I look forward to seeing you here again real soon. Till next time, happy paper crafting. Bye.